Hey you, welcome back to Amusement ASMR, where thrill meets chill. Today I'm going to take you to Universal Studios Hollywood in Los Angeles on a gorgeous spring day in 2024. I love this park. I have an annual pass here too, surprise, surprise. And oh boy, do I go a lot. And because of that, and because there isn't quite as much to do in this park, I do tend to take a more leisurely approach to my days here. There's still plenty to do, of course. And honestly, Disneyland sometimes feels like too much to do. It can feel like you have to be racing around, strategizing every second when you're there. But not here. Here, I can relax. Sit in the 3 Broomsticks back patio, eating delicious food and taking my time, staring dreamily at the Hogwarts castle for hours on end if I so choose. Yes, I have done that before. More than once. And it still feels just as magical and tingly no matter what pace I take. It's kind of nice being able to slow down and still feel like I'll be able to do everything eventually, which is a perk of being an annual pass holder. Actually, this is my annual pass right here, as a matter of fact. It's inside this plastic sleeve. Take it out for you so you can see it. It's pretty thick paper, and it's got the best ride on it, the best land, the Wizarding World, and Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey on it. One of my favorite rides in the park. I'll tuck that back in. That sleeve, which is attached to the best lanyard. Now, this isn't an official Universal lanyard. It's not sold in the parks. It was actually gifted to me by my good friend, Girl and Pika, who is one of my theme park buddies and a dear friend and fellow creator. She has a YouTube channel too. She makes really awesome, amusing Pokemon content, so you should go check out her channel too. Shameless friend plug. But you know, we creators gotta stick together. So, I love this lanyard. I love wearing it in the parks. And walking around, showing off my Gryffindor pride. Yes, I'm a Gryffindor. Okay. Let's go through my recent visit at this fantastic cinematic park. Now, sadly, Universal doesn't give out printed park maps anymore. Trust me, I asked. But I get it, you know, we're saving trees and all that. So instead, I had to get this current version printed out. So you see, I got it printed on pretty high quality gloss paper. The same paper they use for theme park maps. And I think it turned out pretty well. So let's go through it together, okay? On this side is some of the key features, elements, attractions in the park. There's Super Nintendo World here. The world famous studio tour here. Jurassic World, the ride, which I do love this ride. It's a great ride. All of these are amazing. And of course, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter right here. And look at that. It's actually the same image. as on my annual pass. Isn't that fun? And then on the other side is the actual map with all of the different lands and attractions, things to do in the park. And over here, the park entrance and city walk, and then you've got the parking structure over here, and this is of course where I started my day. On this particular day, I parked here in the Jurassic parking structure and then exited out that onto City Walk. Now today, I first actually stopped halfway down City Walk for a Starbucks run because I had forgotten to have my usual morning tea on the way to the parks like I normally do. So I had to make a pit stop. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker, unlike most people, so I gotta have my Earl Grey in the mornings instead. As you can see here, this is my Earl Grey today in my fantastic Marauders Map Harry Potter mug. I solemnly swear I am up to no good. Because I'm always up to no good, but especially when I drink Earl Grey. As you can see here, it's my Earl Grey tea bag that's definitely had some love today. So, this is my version of coffee, basically. And it is actually quite hard to find tea in the theme park sometimes. So, let me know in the comments if you are a tea drinker too, and maybe I'll make videos on all of the spots where you can get tea in each of these theme parks. Okay, for now, let's get back to my Universal day with tea in hand. I made my way over here to the security check and the front entrance. Right here is the classic Universal Globe. There's also a great red carpet here leading up to the front entrance, the gate where they scan your ticket here. And right now this is all decorated, and so the main street here after you enter is also all decorated for the 60th anniversary of the studio tour, which we will be talking more about in a minute. But on this particular day, I scanned into the park at about 11 a.m. because, again, I don't always rope drop at Universal. And then I walked down this main entrance into sort of the New York Street area, past the new Power Up Cafe that they just added here, and I will definitely have to try some of the new treats in there sometime. And then I continued on past Universal Plaza, past the Wizarding World, and through Springfield, USA, over to the escalators here, which take you down to the lower lot. I went there first because as I entered, I was actually checking the wait times for the rides. And by this time in the parks, a lot of things were actually a little bit high for my taste. Certainly not high for everyone's standards, but everything was 30 minutes or higher, which can be a little high for me and my pampered annual pass holder self. So I was looking for anything that might be under that, and there was one ride with a shorter wait time, and that was The Mummy. It was a posted 25-minute wait, so I got in line there at about 11:35, and I love this ride. It is probably the closest thing to a roller coaster in this park currently. I mean, it is a roller coaster, but it's not a terribly long roller coaster, and it doesn't go upside down or have a big drop, but it does have a really fun launch, and it is super fast and in the dark, and I love that it zooms you forward, and then it zooms you backward, which is really exciting. And it's got some really awesome, spooky decor and animatronics and projections and lots of fun things in there. It's a very immersive ride, so I do really enjoy it. It actually gives me a little bit of Indiana Jones vibes. So that was a really fun ride, and I was off that ride about noon. It was a pretty accurate wait time. And then I checked the wait times again as I exited, and I decided to head back up the escalator, back up to the upper lot, because now the lowest wait time I could find that was about a half an hour long was down this way to the back of this area. Despicable Me, Minion, Mayhem. So this was about a 30-minute wait time, and I really love this ride as well, but I would not really wait for this one much longer than 30 minutes, because it isn't a terribly long experience. It is a really fun experience. It's a 4D experience where you're sitting in a theater and the chairs sort of move and rock with you as you go on an adventure with Gru and the girls to celebrate their anniversary of the day of their adoption. And of course, everything goes wrong, and it's really hilarious, and the minions are adorable. It's just a really, really fun experience. But, not necessarily worth longer than a half an hour wait, in my opinion. So I'm very glad it was only that long. I got in line at 12:20, and the wait time was accurate 30 minutes. So I got off that ride at almost 1 o'clock. And at this point, I was actually pretty hungry because I was having a more leisurely day and I arrived a little bit later. It was already time for lunch. Now, 1 o'clock is not usually the best time to get food. That is still kind of during the rush hour for lunch, the busy time in the park, so places will be kind of busier than usual. So it is good to eat at off-peak times if possible, but when hunger calls, sometimes you just gotta answer. So I decided to head over to my favorite land in the park, which also happens to be the place where my favorite spot to eat is located. And that is in the Wizarding World at 3 Broomsticks. So I went there for lunch, and I got the delicious bangers and mash meal today. And then for drink, I got a hot butterbeer. This is my favorite kind of butterbeer. There are several different kinds, but in my opinion, the hot butterbeer is the least sweet of the 3 of them. They are all very sweet, and the frozen one is the most sweet, so it is exceptionally sweet. If you've got a sweet tooth, get the frozen butterbeer. It is super, super sweet and delicious. They're all delicious. But when the weather's not too hot out, I try to get the hot butterbeer whenever I can, because it is my favorite. And it was not too hot today, so I got my hot butterbeer and my bangers and mash, and in total that cost me $23.73 after tax and my annual pass discount. So I had a nice, long, leisurely lunch there, and then I decided to go strolling a bit, work off some of that food. So I decided to come down and around the Central Plaza and Upper Lot areas, check out some of the new merchandise and decor on display for the 60th anniversary of the studio tour. And I will be doing a whole separate video of the exact studio tour of the ride itself, because there is a special version of the studio tour that's running right now in honor of the 60th anniversary. But today, I just wanted to take a bit of a look at all the merchandise and decor and special treats that will be here from April 26th to August 11th for this celebration. And while I was wandering around, I also came across a few characters. I love that Universal also does roaming characters, just like Disneyland. And I got a few. I saw Beetlejuice, which was fantastic, and those classic New Yorkers that are so fun. They're so good at improving with all the park goers walking around down below them. They are so fun. I really love standing there and watching them and listening to them for a little while. Kind of reminds me of when I lived in New York. Takes me back. I also saw Donkey. He is always a hilarious treat to see. And I also saw the back of Scooby-Doo. He was walking back to go backstage again at the end of his roaming time, but it was still really fun to see him at the end there. And he did a cute little wave at the end. And then after I had a really nice, long, leisurely stroll around the park, I realized that I had to pee. So I decided to go right back to the Wizarding World. I know I was just there, but it is also the place where my favorite bathrooms are. You remember how we theme park nerds have our favorite bathrooms in theme parks? This bathroom is my favorite because I get to go see, or rather hear, Moaning Myrtle. It's the most immersive bathrooms I think I've ever experienced in a theme park. It's so good. You can hear Moaning Myrtle just talking the whole time that you're in there, and it's really quite funny. I've actually always wondered if she is in the boys' bathroom as well, because according to the lore of Harry Potter, you should really only hear her in the girls' bathroom, because she is only in the girls' bathroom, the second floor girls' bathroom in Hogwarts. So I wonder if they stayed true to the lore, or, if they just wanted to share that experience with everyone who goes to the bathroom at Universal. So, if you happen to know the answer to that, tell me in the comments below if you can hear Moaning Myrtle in the boys' bathroom here. Okay. Well, while I was in the Wizarding World, I decided that it was perfect time to get some dessert after my lunch, since I did all that nice walking off of my lunch, and also because it was a special season in the park at this time as well. It was Butterbeer season at the time that I filmed this. It was running from March 15th to April 30th. It was just a special promotional time to launch the newly renovated Honeydukes. They took out Zonko's and replaced it with Florean Fortescue's ice cream shop. So you could now get more kinds of butterbeer in the park. So I decided to get myself some butterbeer ice cream. Now, you can get it either there at the new Honeydukes Florean Fortescue's counter. They have the hard-packed ice cream, butterbeer ice cream, or soft serve ice cream. But you can also get it at the 3 Broomsticks. And I do just love the atmosphere there so much. And it does have places to sit. And it is a nice place to relax. So I decided to go back to the 3 Broomsticks. And I was there about 2:30 in the afternoon, which is a good time post-lunch rush. A little bit of a lull, so it wasn't as busy now. And I got myself some butterbeer ice cream. That's right. It's right here. This is the exact carton that I got the ice cream in. And this is what it looks like. Florean Fortescue's ice cream, Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And then it's got the butterbeer ice cream on top. And there's even some great nutritional information on the back. And the reason I still have this is because I had my treat, and then I definitely went into the Moaning Myrtle bathrooms and rinsed it out and washed it clean so that I could bring it home because I just love this container. And I had to save it and do something with it on my desk. I haven't decided what yet, but it is going to hold something for me. And it's just such a fun container. So, and it's very fun to tap. Really lovely sounds. So this ice cream was actually really tasty too. I'm not normally that big of a sweets fan, as I mentioned before, but this was actually really tasty. It was sweet, but I do love the butterbeer flavor, and this kind of tasted like butterbeer flavor mixed with sort of a cake batter flavor. It was actually quite enjoyable, and I did eat the entire thing, so that tells you how good this was. So delicious. Okay, let's put that back right there. This is safe for later. Now, along with the butterbeer ice cream, I also got an iced tea. Now, there are a few options for iced teas at the Three Broomsticks. You can get it mixed with some other flavors, or you can get it plain. And I do sometimes get it plain and unsweetened, but today I was in the mood for an Arnold Palmer of sorts. So I got the iced tea lemonade. Now, unfortunately, the lemonade that they serve is a bit of a neon, artificial yellow color, like something we drank as kids after youth soccer games. So it is a little disappointing considering the quality of everything else here at Three Broomsticks. But you know, I still get it, and I still drink it, and I still enjoy it every time. So I got my iced tea lemonade and my butterbeer ice cream, and together those cost $11.39 after tax and discount. So not too bad. And then, after that sweet snack, I decided to pop into the Honeydukes expansion to see a bit more of that for myself, because I did really love that end of the shop where Zonko's was. It was such a fun display of adorable pygmy puffs and all the fun little joke gifts and the surprises that would make noise when you least expected it. It was very fun in there. I really loved having some version of a joke shop in this Hogsmeade, so I am sad that they took that away. But I do like what they did with the rest of Honeydukes and the addition of Florean Fortescue, and they kept a lot of the other stuff I loved in there, and they moved that sweets counter over as well, where you can get butterbeer fudge and many other delicious treats. So it is really nice in there, and I did want to go around and explore it a little bit. And of course, exploring Hogsmeade in general is one of my favorite things to do at Universal. So, gotta do that once while I'm here. So then, as I'm walking around Hogsmeade, the Wizarding World, I decided I should go and ride my favorite ride over here, because the wait time was actually not that long. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey had dropped to a 20-minute wait, which is really good for that ride. So I got in line at 4:10 p.m., and it actually only took me 15 minutes to get through the queue, and it honestly would have taken me even less than that, except that I stopped quite a bit along the way, which I really like to do in this queue. This is my favorite queue, maybe in any theme park, but certainly in Universal. It's so immersive and so detailed, and for a Harry Potter nerd like me, it's heaven. I love all of the little elements in here. The Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom is definitely my favorite part. I love the projection show bit with Harry and Hermione and Ron. That's really fun. But I just love all the little details and nods around this room to all of the different years that they took Defense Against the Dark Arts. So there's nods from each of the years and classes and teachers that they had for Defense Against the Dark Arts. There's a lot of really great little Easter eggs and hidden treasures in this room. So I am a huge fan of this queue. And then of course you've got all the other little nods and treats like Snape's office, the potions room, the one-eyed witch that hides the secret passageway, the portrait of the fat lady in the Gryffindor common room, and the portraits of all the Hogwarts house's founders, who all move and talk and are having a lively discussion with one another. I do love that all of the portraits on the walls throughout the queue are moving and talking like they are in the real Harry Potter. So it's just such a wonderful queue. I love this queue. And I love the ride too. It's also a really great ride, although it does make some people a little motion sick because there are screens and you are being moved around quite a bit on this really big arm that's holding a bench of 4 seats, and it's shaking you around quite a bit. And then there are also practical sets. It's a mixture of elements that can make some people a little motion sicky, and it does for me sometimes, but it's so worth it because it's such a dream to be able to immerse in the world of Harry Potter. So I love this ride. I usually try to do it every time I come to this park, and it was wonderful that the wait time is so low today. So that was a treat. And then it exits you out into Filch's Emporium, which is one of the many gift shops in this wizarding world. Definitely a great shop, and I do have a few things that I've bought at this shop. I will do another video in the future with all of my favorite merchandise, my merch haul, all the things that I've gotten at each of the shops here in the wizarding world. So that is still to come. But back to this day. So after riding Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, I decided to head back down to the lower lot because all the wait times were higher than I'd like, so I figured this would be a good time to go down the escalators and way to the back to Super Nintendo World to do a bit of exploring in that super immersive world. That land is so amazing and so immersive, and quite similar to the Wizarding World actually, because the Wizarding World has its interactive ones and spells you can do around the world, and the Super Nintendo World has power-up bands. And this is my power-up band. I got the Princess Peach power-up band because, you know, girl power. And I just love her character in the Super Mario movie that came out recently. She's such a badass in that movie that I had to get the Princess Peach power-up band. Go Team Peach. So what I love about this band is that it's a snap bracelet, which is so genius. So this is what it looks like. Snap bracelets definitely take me back to my childhood as well. It's just so fun to put on and take off and snap around. And then with this, you put it on your wrist, and then you can go around and hit power-up blocks and question mark blocks and collect coins. You can also use it to collect stamps and stickers around the land and complete challenges. There are 4 different mini challenges around the land, and if you collect 3 keys from those, then you can do the Bowser Jr.'s challenge, which is another great little mini challenge. And those are all separate from the main ride in this park, which is the Mario Kart ride, and that ride is also amazing and immersive and so technologically advanced. And if you tap your power-up band on that ride as well, you can also collect different points and stamps and stickers and such. So it's a really awesome interactive element to have in the Super Nintendo world. So that is my power-up band. So I took my power-up band and I walked around Super Nintendo World for a little while to fully explore it. And I particularly love going up this sort of hidden secret balcony that not many people know about, because there are a whole bunch of great power blocks up there, and there are these really cool interactive binoculars that you can look through, and you can see all these fun augmented reality details that are overlaid over the land below. And if you find certain cool elements and you zoom in, you can get transported to different lands and collect stamps and points in the app. So that is really, really fun. Okay, so after I had some fun in Super Nintendo World, then I made my way back out of the land and down this corridor near Transformers, the ride, and the Mummy, which I rode earlier. And I passed by some characters on the way. There were some fun Transformer characters out that were hanging out with people. I mean, I do love Bumblebee. He is just the cutest. And then on my way back up the escalator, I also got to check on the progress of the construction happening right here. Because this whole area that looks like it's all forest is actually all been cleared, and they are in the process of building a new roller coaster. I am so excited. Because like I said, the Mummy is the closest thing to a full-on roller coaster in this park, and this park is long overdue for a real serious mega roller coaster. I mean, over in Orlando, they do actually have a couple legit big roller coasters, so it's about time this park got one. So that has been under construction for a little while, and that's supposed to open next year, 2025. I am so excited for it. And it will be themed to the Fast and the Furious. So we will definitely talk more about that in future videos, and be sure to ride it and review it once it is open. But on the way back up, I got a good view of that construction progress so far. And then I made my way back up and into this sort of central plaza area, because the only thing with a low enough wait time that I was in the mood for at this time was a really cute, fun little show, Kung Fu Panda Adventures. Now, I do also really love this show. It's, again, like Despicable Me, it's more like a 4D experience in a theater where the seats do vibrate a little. They move less intensely than Despicable Me's seats do, but it's still a fun little movement and vibration. It's honestly kind of a nice butt massage, but it's a really cute experience as well, and it's really cool. The projections that they do for that show start out just on the main screen in front of you, but during the course of the experience, you realize that the projections actually are designed to spread all the way around the theater, and it's a really cool effect. I really like what they've done with the projections in this show. So it is a really fun experience. Again, not something I would wait a terribly long time for, but today it was only a 15-minute wait. So I got in line at 5:20 p.m. and it was an accurate wait time, and it was a very nice, chill and easy thing to do to relax a bit at this point. And then I was off that at 5:40 p.m. So a very accurate and very enjoyable way to spend that time. And then as I got off that ride, I checked the wait times. And one of my other favorite rides that I do really love to make when I can has also dropped in its wait time, and that's back over in the Wizarding World, the Flight of the Hippogriff. I love this ride, and you could say this is the other roller coaster in this park. Again, it is technically a roller coaster, but it's more like a kiddie coaster. It does go pretty fast, but it is super short. It's such a short ride. It zooms around in a few circles. It's really just like a tight bunch of banks for about 30 seconds, and then you're done. It's such a short ride, but it is such a fun ride, mostly for two reasons. One, because of the Buckbeak animatronic. I love how Buckbeak bows to you as you're heading up the lift hill. And then I also love the views from this roller coaster. As I'm whipping around, I love to look up at the castle and see the Hogwarts castle in all its magnificent glory above me as I'm whipped around. So I do love this ride for those two reasons. But because it's such a short ride, it's really not worth it unless it's a short wait. So I was thrilled that it was only a 20-minute posted wait time. And by the time I got off the ride, I realized it was actually only a 10-minute wait time in reality. So a very fantastic, quick dose of a thrilling pick-me-up, which was perfect for that moment. And then as I was getting off that ride, I decided it was time for another little treat. I was getting a tiny bit peckish, but I didn't really want food. I wanted one of the exclusive beers that you can get in this land. And there are a few beers that are made exclusively for Universal that you can't get anywhere outside of the theme parks. And two of them are in the Hogshead. You can get either the Hogshead Brew, which is a nice amber ale, or the Dragon Scale, which is a lager. I know, it's a bit of a missed opportunity there. The Dragon Scale should really be the ale. But, you know, is what it is. And there's also a custom cider. There are a few other custom drinks you can get there, but these are the two custom beers that you can get here. And I love them both. But today, I was in the mood for the ale, so I got the Hogshead Brew, which was $17.52 after tax. But before tip, remember to tip your bartenders well. And I love this bar. I love getting a beer here, not only because the beers are delicious and exclusive to the Wizarding World and really, really nice treat, but also because the actual Hog's head mounted behind the bar occasionally moves and snorts and bellows. And that is a really fun effect while you're standing in line. So I highly recommend going to the Hogshead. It's a great place to get a little treat. And then the Hogshead is connected in the back with 3 broomsticks. So you can go have a seat in there from the Hogshead. Or you can take your beer and stroll around the park while you're enjoying it, if you so choose. Which is what I did, because I decided to take my beer and take a nice leisurely stroll down through Springfield and back down the escalators to the lower lot again. I know I'm doing a lot of crisscrossing today, but it's a pretty small park, so it's actually not too bad. And the reason I needed to head back down there with beer in hand is because something super special and rare has happened. The amazing Mario Kart ride in Super Nintendo World had dropped to a 30-minute wait. That never happens. This is by far the most popular ride in the park, and it has usually at least an hour-long wait. I rarely see it below that. So a 30-minute wait is just the most phenomenal occurrence. It's so rare, it's so magical, and you've got to take advantage of it when it happens. So I rushed over there and got in line, beer and all, and it was in line at 6:35 p.m., and it was indeed a 30-minute wait, very accurate, but that was actually good in this case because I needed time to finish my beer in line. And I absolutely love this queue also. It's really immersive as well, really detailed. I love all the little Easter eggs and nuggets because the queue winds you through Bowser's castle. So there's all these fun little nods to his rivalry with Mario, which is part of the storyline of the Mario Kart ride, how you're racing on Team Mario against Team Bowser. And I love the portraits of Princess Peach and his displays of love for her. It's just so funny. So this is a really, really excellent ride and excellent queue. It's such a fun ride. The technology is amazing. I mean, it's basically the video game brought to life, which if you grew up playing Mario Kart like I did, this is a dream come true as well. It's so amazing to just be able to live in the world of Mario Kart. Oh, so, a must-do if you have not done that yet. Next time you go to this park, must do. Huge nostalgia hit. Okay, so I got off of that ride after 7 p.m., and that was when the park closed this day, because it was a weekday, so it closes a little earlier. So that meant that I couldn't really ride anything else, and it was time to make my way out of the park. So I made my way back down here, past Transformers and the Mummy and Jurassic World, and back up the escalator, through Springfield, through the upper lot, and down the main street, and of course doing a little bit of window shopping on my way out, as always, and then out the exit at 7:20 p.m. And then I made my way back down City Walk to the parking structure where I'd parked, and I passed by the Universal Studio store on the way in City Walk, which was also decked out for the Studio Tour 60th anniversary. But more on that in another video. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that I made your day a little bit happier and tinglier and more magical, or at least a little more amusing. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do go and watch another one, because you'll probably enjoy that one too. And it'll help teach the algorithm that my videos are awesome and worth sharing with more people like you and me. So click on this one that future me has put on the screen right here for you. And thank you again. I will see you next time.